Recording in progress. Welcome to my video, True Divine 44. I'm Jennifer Roberts. Thank you for being here. Thank you for bearing with me during this time of not being on here too much and calling in and listening. So this is a writing on the wall, and it is a bit of a discussion about where I see things going. For a long time, a while ago, I was talking about, and throughout, to be honest, of this channel, the way that they have flipped the script. One aspect, a huge aspect, is to really disform and disfigure the knowings of what womanhood is, of what a woman is, and the true powers and roles that women can really enter into and hold space for and creating. And they did this through organized religion for the main part for the last however many thousands of years. By doing this, they really kill two birds with one stone, quite literally. By doing this, the mother that carries, that births the beings, as well as male beings, into this space, if the mother does not quite know exactly what she is and what her powers are, then any child, male or female, coming from that mother, billions and billions of mothers, will also have this almost Chinese whisper of what you are and what your capabilities are. So by degenerating and taking out the foundation of knowings of what womanhood is and the capabilities of woman, and what she can do, is very, very it's a very specific and very important part of keeping the control mechanisms and the balance of the scales as these powers that be do. It's a very necessary tool for them. And what we see now is this, what I spoke about us entering into, we're really in the thrust of it right now, of the spin cycle of it, in that we're really entering into this time again, that during times of history that we know about, there has been this clearing, this call of powerful women, of the knowings of powerful women, of what women stand for. And it's been done through labeling women as witches, and having people be in fear of that creative source, that powerful source. Then through that, it made women very frightened to show their true powers and prowess, sexually, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, all of those aspects. They dampened down, they played down their role in order to survive. That has coincided with this constant but then sporadic call of women and the powerful nature that they are in organized religion, in that, you know, we've always played the role of not even being able to go into some temples due to certain religions, not being able to speak up on the Catholic stage if you are a woman, not being able to have autonomy over your own body in many of the organized religions, if not all, to some degree. And so that manipulation has been very, very entrenched in this reality that we exist in. And so now we are seeing another cycle, a huge aspect of the cycle, where just as they have done in the past, this cycle seems to involve them actually stripping away, not physically, but in the consciousness of the many, the fact that a woman even exists, and the womb, and you know, really trying to take away the benefits and aspects and powers of the womb, quite literally. And we are hearing things like birthing people instead of mothers, or a mother giving birth, mum to be. All of those things are being wiped out of the consciousness and almost being made into a dirty word. It's exactly the same thing as what they did to the healers by labeling them witches. They stripped away the labels that covered their powers and abilities more accurately. in a more positive light, and put people in fear of using those labels, and gave that label of the witch, and to be careful, which one is it, just kill them all because we don't know which one is the witch. And so they're doing exactly the same thing here, in that they are trying to, under the guise of love and light, just as they did when they killed off many healing women, and labeled them witches in the name of God. They are then doing it now again in a virtuous way of, being inclusive. And that inclusivity also strips away the consciousness of the knowings of the prowess of the male, of the divine masculine, of the abilities and beautiful powers and action-based source of power that the male possesses. By doing this, they are giving the men what seems to be more inclusivity. All that is doing in reality is stripping away more of their knowing of thyself. And so again, we see the same thing being played out, slightly different words, but exactly the same hijack of consciousness blueprint being used. And it constantly involves the degeneration of women and what they can do. And then they know the bonuses that they get from doing this, as far as how males recognize themselves. So what we're seeing right now, and really existing in, is a real duality of, there is this energy that has been coming in for a few years now, really intensely, like contractions, a remembrance in many women and in many men of just how powerful the woman is, just how powerful the physical housing aspect of what makes a woman is, just how powerful that divine feminine energy in spirit coming through is. And there is a real surge of that goddess type energy rising up in many. With that, it gains the attention of the powers that be, of course, and the powers that be are manipulating on all different levels, and really making misogyny rise up in balance with this surge of power of the divine feminine. We are seeing in the collective a surge of misogyny and bigotry rising up again. And again, a lot of these people are in this so-called freedom movement or awakening, and they are the ones that are coming out. Women also falling for the play that is being set before them in many different ways, in many different directions. One of them being the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp thing. Now, as far as it goes, this is, again, I think they're both messed up. I think Hollywood, just as the war machine, never wastes a good crisis. And Hollywood being bang on with this narrative of strip away feminine graces and powers, strip away womanhood. They see the actor and actress play out their relationship, and they think perfect. And so again, they are given much airtime and sort of pushed and prodded in the right directions, i.e. Also using and utilizing their actor, Johnny Depp, by allowing Amber to have a bigger voice in the algorithms to accuse. And so again, and they did this by, saying, oh, we want nothing to do with Johnny Depp. And then that's it, it's in motion. And so whatever level these two actors, this actor and actress, know that they are involved in this, who knows? I think quite a lot. But as far as more so on the Amber side, so that's what's playing out there. I really do feel that her ego and her mental illness have been used and utilized, poked and prodded into the direction just in time for the Me Too type thing to be hijacked. into doing what she did, you know, claiming what she did. The newspaper's running with it, and it is all falling into place now. And even in this awake and aware so-called side of the community, I'm seeing people fall for this and taking a side. And I find it really sad that those people are women for the most part, and they are almost using it as a, not untrue, because it happens in society where you do have women using children, using finances, in order to benefit themselves and not their children, and to hurt their ex-partner deliberately. Of course, that exists. But to say that it is the predominant factor in society would be untrue. And so we see that this jumping on the bandwagon, and it's just the same as taking a side politically right now. You're still taking a side, you're still dividing and doing what they want you to do, which is put out statements, blanket statements, which degenerate and label women on scale in a blanket way, as users, as witches, you know, able to manipulate and create a reality that they want by lying, by distorting the truth, etc., etc. So it's less about the case itself for me, but more about how much attention it's being given, and also how many people are falling for this side and this side, when actually we should be really highlighting that this is a huge part of the narrative to push for even less safeties and rights and listening ears for women that are being abused, not just on the collective scale, one-to-one, family-to-family, partner-to-partner, but on the wider scale, i.e. the abuses that women go through in the likes of Hollywood, i.e. the abuses that we are seeing on a massive scale, that is a huge part of the narrative, that women are no longer allowed to refer to themselves as birthing mums to be, as mothers to be, as, you know, we have to be birthing people. It's crazy. And so all of this taken aside right now as helping them push their narrative hugely in a way that is very, very dangerous. Because like I said before, as alongside that, the stream of misogyny and bigotry is being poked and prodded, and utilized and given space and time in the algorithms to grow also. So there is this feeding frenzy in the collective right now, and it is coming for the woman, it is coming for the mother, it is coming for that aspect of creation. And that is a really worrying time for me, because it is yet again a repeat of the cycle that many people say they want to fight to get out of, that many people who call for unity and love and light are then still taking a side and still you know, pushing the narrative, whether they know it or not. And many of them, sadly, I don't feel know it, that they're doing it, that they're helping the very people that they want to take down along. And so it's something that we really do have to have discernment over, because it's going to get quite dangerous out there. And again, it is always, not always, but many of the times done under this guise of religion, love and light, the right thing to do, the virtuous thing to do. It's seeming very virtuous right now to be inclusive about everything, but in that inclusivity, it's very clever in that they exclude what is real. What is real is that there are male and female forms in this human body, and that they are nothing to do with the divine feminine, divine masculine that's found within each. or can be channeled within each. I argue that it's not found at all in many. But there is this male and female form, and that is the duality of creation, and the egg and the rod, the triangle and the wand. It's how we procreate. And so again, we're in this huge part of this cycle where that is being sort of written out. And in order to not help them, we really must not fall for this side taking that they're really pushing us to do. And so discernment going forward is like, we have to gain discernment on this cosmic scale. And we really have to level up with our knowings of what frequency stream we are associating with, and whether we are helping to sow divide, even when we think we are doing the right thing or speaking up about the right thing. Are we falling into a trap that is actually enabling the very thing that we do not stand for later down the line? So it's about this meditation and deliberation, and taking that time and space to really think things through, and really be that eagle that can, the wings real high up, in order to see things from a bigger picture point of view before acting. It feels like there's many trip wires for people, and if they didn't get you one way distractionarily, they'll get you another way. So we have to be also looking at our feet, seeing where we're walking, what we're walking into, and what we're talking our way into. And so that's where our power is right now, is through discernment, and being really discerning to not get distracted and not have our energy hijacked, and not enter into that energetic contract that they are enticing us and making it very, yummy for us to enter into, easy for us to enter into, because there is a want to be distracted right now, because there is much to do, and there is much to make sure it does not get done. And so if you're really serious about wanting to change up this loop that we keep going through, this loop that has been hijacked a very long time ago and continues to be the snake that eats the tail, and really see what's out there when we change this cycle and do not go back on to repeat, then we really do need to get serious about not being distracted, and certainly not attacking our own, attacking each other, male or female. To be truly inclusive is to be able to have the honest discussion about the reality, and that reality being at the base. Whatever you decide to be, as long as you're not hurting or harming anybody else, the foundation has to be strong. You have to know where you came from first. Even if that means you do genuinely wish to be going through a transgender transition, then still it's important for those individuals to still have a foundation of where they came from first, and not have that foundation be degraded in society's eyes, for them to be able to love themselves in that foundation, in order to truly love themselves in whatever transition they go through. That's like anything, that whatever transitions we go through in life, whatever we decide to do, whatever avenues we decide to walk down, it's so important that we have the foundation, whether it's a beautiful picture or whether it's a not so comfortable picture to look at, the foundation of where we come from, what we started from, how we started. And that means physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, all of those things that should create a healthy foundation. Even if it was an uncomfortable start for many of us, it's still a healthy foundation to be able to look at it honestly and go forward and really learn lessons from it, and have it as a springboard, as a transition, rather than something that's been degraded and degenerated and disformed and disfigured into something that is just distorted and not true. So, we're seeing right now this as above, so below. I've spoken about in the past this contract that Hollywood was very clever to put its magic out there in that way, in that it is a magical contract of they named their actors and actresses stars. So they are above you because naturally we look up to the stars and we look in awe for the most part. If you've got any kind of heart, you look in awe at the stars. They're beautiful to look at and see. And so we see that they labeled it very cleverly by labeling it stars. And so this is where this contract starts to roll out, in that they are above us. There's something to aspire to. There's something that is nice to be distracted by. So we entered into this energetic contract of wanting to watch and see how things played out, and most importantly emulate the stars that we wanted to associate ourselves with. With this they can manipulate so much because they can absolutely play out in all technicolor what they want to achieve, what they want to see the cycle roll into. So having that is a super powerful tool for projecting into the consciousness of the people where the power really lies. And then the people being that green screen, absorbing the script and then actually playing it out and making it happen. So when people say they need our permission, this is where the magic in Hollywood lies, in that they absolutely manipulated you into a contract of being their projector screen. And so this is where it's very important that when we see our stars being pulled down into a very base, crass place where we are hearing things like fecal matter being left in beds. We are hearing things like moans and groans of the star, you know, that is on drugs. We're hearing all of these secrets that actually these people who we didn't know anything about their private lives unless Hollywood wants us to. So now they're wanting us to project out this brokenness, this divide between male and female, this suspicion between male and female, this side. So where politics is failing, Hollywood will achieve. And so again, they're seeing that we are taking sides in the collective. Amber's side, justice for Johnny's side, you know, hatred for Amber, hatred for Johnny, disappointment in both. We're seeing that being pulled down. So what they're doing in front of our eyes is, after making us look up to these people, or not making us and enticing us into a contract, just as they do in religion, we look up and pray and praise, you know, upwards. And so they've pulled it down. And so they've degraded it in front of our very eyes. Because there has been a lot of investment collectively in looking up to these stars, it automatically in those people brings down the frequency of those people into that place. Now they are ready to see this on in the community that they live in. So a lot of men are ready to look at women as if they are creatures, witches that can entice you and trick you to get all of your money. You know, we're looking at women hating on other women because they see this this person, this woman, and they have taken a side, so that attacking other women and making blanket statements. So this contract is playing out beautifully for Hollywood. And where people say Hollywood's failing, they're all ready, all of these systems are ready to crumble down to build up anew. So don't think Hollywood's worried. Hollywood is deliberately doing this. This is part of the narrative to pull down the stars in order to make us start attacking each other and seeing ourselves collectively in these stars and vice versa. And so it's a very clever contract that they entered people into, enticed people into. So the very thing that we see many people accusing Amber Heard of, oh, she's a witch, she enticed him into it, the same way we did with Boris's wife. Whether they are or they're not actually matters not. It's the fact that then that will be projected out collectively. And so again, it's working beautifully for Hollywood, where we were just getting so close to powerful people in Hollywood being brought to justice because there was a more knowing in the collective of what had gone on, and just how sick and debased this association, this club is. Just so close, but not close enough, because again, that gave people some relief. It made people sort of think we're getting close, and it was always that religious thing. It's coming soon, it's coming soon, we've already won, it's coming soon, when actually it's made a curveball. And this curveball is to say that we're not powerful in Hollywood, we're the same as you. And men are not powerful in Hollywood. Look at this man who has been manipulated, controlled, abused, and attacked. And I'm not saying he hasn't been, I'm just saying they'll use that, even if it is all true. All they've done is say, great, we've got a true crime story that we can use. And so again, this degrading of the woman and the man and the partnership of the two, which should be our greatest power in the collective, to keep whatever leaders we anoint in check, in that when a man and a woman come together in a creative way, and even if it is a female and a female coming together, or a male and a male coming together, but they are using the spark of divine masculine and divine feminine, that creative source and that sex magic is so powerful. It can reach throughout the cosmos. And so anybody who is skilled with tantric sex, with that energy resource, with that connecting of the two, of the rod and this triangle, being able to meld and mold all aspects from physical to soul level together to reach through the cosmos and create and manifest, they can take that power away, then, you know, and hijack it, then you're going to be able to stay in your powerful positions to abuse and accuse the people, rather than being able to accuse you of real crimes. So Hollywood, yet again, is getting away with it. And what I'm really disappointed at is that in this, people who have woken up recently or in the last few years, who have gotten into research, who can start to see aspects of the way that these people move and shake, are still falling for this side taking and not swooping up like that eagle to see the bigger picture, in order to strip that power source away, to disassociate. Many people are talking about common law contracts, and really waking up to the fact that actually we have, even if we've been tricked, we've entered into these contracts. And if we can get enough people to say, whoa, I was coerced into that contract and I no longer agree with it. And just like in organized religion, rip up that contract, rip up that baptism and say, no, I take my blood back. And then it would be very powerful. Even people who are doing that are still forgetting about the very clever energetic contracts, that whatever you give your energy to, the physical contracts are just something to solidify contract work. It's all about energetic contracts, really. That's all that matters. You can give your consent by giving your consciousness to be able to even pick a side. That's your consent to help them along with their narrative. And so it's something to just bear in mind, and a lot of people won't like it, what I'm saying, because it might just sting a little bit, but it's true. And I'm really in it for what I say I'm in it for, in that I would really love to break the cycle. I would really love to put the circuit breaker in this history loop that we've continued and continued and continued into, cycle after cycle, and just see what we can create and do beyond this loop, beyond this snake and reaching up into another snake to see what creative things we can come up with and achieve and connect to if we do manage to circuit break this loop that we've been in. And so what did I write here? So yeah, an already toxic relationship used for the narrative of further disbelief of women who do go through domestic violence, and further disbelief of women who would speak out against the powerful. Just think of what this is doing to women who were being brave and speaking out and whistleblowing about powerful leaders that have been abusive to them or to their children or somebody else that they know. The kind of furore that I'm seeing on the internet regarding the hatred towards Amber, and again, I'm not getting into what I believe, what I don't believe. I'm just saying from a wider picture, from a wider scale, this will be again putting women off speaking out, because it's a very scary thing to do anyway. You've already got a lot to fight against when you want to speak out against abuses like this. So now, seeing all of this hatred online, you're not going to want to enter into that half as much. You might even not be able to, because you just couldn't take it, or it would just get too dangerous. Because in order for these women in particular to speak out, they need to feel supported, because they are speaking out against a powerful system that is of abuse that has been in place for a very long time. And so they need more support, not the energy of, we might not believe you right now, because there is a lot of energy in the air to say, disbelieve women. Women are manipulative, women are coercive, women are dangerous. Something I went through recently, I got so many messages saying thank you, thank you for being brave and speaking out, thank you for standing up for yourself. And a lot of the attack that was on me was absolutely, she's an evil witch, she's coerced people, she uses her ways, and she's a Satanist and worse. And so, and again, a lot of people, from the people who were doing that to me, were messaging me, and then have then felt brave enough in their own right to stand up for themselves, because they saw it, someone else do it, so the energy felt right for them. I can guarantee many of those people that have messaged me, or people like them right now, will feel like, it's shit, we're not supported in this, we're not believed in this, we're not going to be listened to, we'll actually be attacked because the energy has switched again. And so it's really important that we really do have discernment over these things that we're seeing playing out, and be really careful of what energetic contracts we are entering into, because we just might be damaging our daughters and our sons in the future, should they ever be brave enough to stand up to things that are more powerful than them, or seemingly more powerful than them, things and people that have abused them, because this side taking continues. So anyway, a little bit of a rant, a little bit of a jaunt through my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment, share it out, please give me a hand, subscribe if you haven't already, and tell others to do so, or ask others to do so. Much love, balance and wholeness. Check out my Facebook page, True Divine 44. Check out my Instagram, The True Divine, Twitter, The True Divine, Facebook again, Divinity, and hook up with me, Jennifer Roberts, on Facebook. I think that's about it. Much love again, balance again, and wholeness again, always.